Hey, it's Ingrid from Conducting Artistry, and today we're going to talk about 26 different ways that you can play scales. Now, you're probably sitting at home and have been doing lots of practice by yourself, which is not nearly as fun as playing with everyone else, but what can you do right now? And probably something that your teacher has told you to do before all of this COVID-19 was to practice your scales. But practicing scales can be pretty boring if we just practice them one way all the time. And what we know about the brain is that the more we mix up the different ways that we learn something, the better we learn it. So here's our 26 ways that you can practice scales. Number one is going down and then up. So starting at the top note, going down and then back up again. Our second way, choose your own adventure. So start on a note other than the first note. I'm going to start on the second note. And then I come back to that note. And you can do that starting on any note in the scale. Next one is rhythm all sorts. Pick a random rhythm and play that on each note of the scale. Our next method is skipping stones. So skip every second note in the scale. And then you can do the same thing going down from the top. And notice I did all the fingering of all the notes in between as well. Our next method is the 2-octave wave. So starting in the middle, going down, going all the way up, and then going back to the middle again. You can also do that going up first, down, and back to the middle. Our next method is a 2-octave zigzag. So starting on the middle note, going one note down, back up one note, back down, and gradually adding more notes. And you can do that for the whole scale. If you can't yet play a 2-octave scale, you could do that starting in the middle of a 1-octave scale to get you out to the whole scale. The next is brick by brick, and you might have learnt this as 1, 1, 2, 1. So you can start at the bottom, adding one more note each time. Etc. till you get to the top of the scale, and when you get to the top, you do it from the top. For the whole scale. Our next method is called mixed intervals, and is a really good one for testing your ability to go between different pitches. So we start with 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1, up to the octave. And obviously if you've got a big range on your instrument, you can go more than one octave. And And if you don't want to repeat the middle note, you don't have to. That's another variation. You can do the same thing starting at the top. All the way through the scale. Our next one is articulation all sorts. So pick a type of articulation that you're going to use, or a bowing style, and use that same one for the whole scale. I might choose staccato. Then pick a different one. I'll start from the top. Next, we can change a whole lot of different articulation patterns to vary slurs versus tongues. We could do 2 slurred, 2 tongued. And you can do that from the top as well. You can do 2 tongued, 2 slurred. I'll start this one from the top. You can do 3 slurred, 1 tongue. You can do 1 tongue, 3 slurs. You can do 4 slurred. You could do 8 slurred. You can do 6 slurred, 2 tongued. You can do 2 slurred, 6 tongue. You can do 6 tongue, 2 slurred. You can do 2 tongue, 6 slurred. You can do twins. Now this is where we get the first note and the second note, then do the second and the third, and then the third and the fourth, etc. And that one's quite fun because it sounds a bit more melodic. The next thing we can do is, you guessed it, triplets. So first 3 notes, then start on the second note, 3 notes. Get the idea? You can do quads. We'll try this one going from the top. And of course you could do 5s or 6s or 7s, but you're going to run out of notes pretty quickly on a 7. The next thing you can do is sing it like you mean it. So sing the note first and then play it. And you might want to play the note first to get a starting pitch. Da, da, The next one is for woodwind players. You can do something called a one-handed catch. So for this, you're not going to blow air or make sound through your instrument. You're just going to do the fingers. So pick a hand, might be the left hand, and you're only going to do the fingering for the left hand. So I'm going to imagine the fingering on my right hand for, let's say, D major scale on saxophone. And that's pretty hard, I'm not a saxophone player. And then you can do the same with just doing the right hand fingering and not moving the left hand. It's a bit hard to see without the instrument, but you get the idea. Now for string players, our one-handed catch is going to be first time around, you're just going to do your fingers of your left hand. Next time you're just going to do your bow on an open string, but you're going to do the string crossings at the right time. And you could do that slurred as I just did it then, or you could do it separate. Really gets you to think about where the string crossings happen. Then you can obviously put them both together. And it's also a bit easier with an instrument, but you could also try it without an instrument, which would be really making your brain work hard for it. Now, last one-handed catch is for piano or mallets players. So same thing as before, if you're doing your scale, and if you're a piano player and you're doing a say a 2-octave scale, just do it with the left hand first, just do it with the right hand first, put them both together. You can do that in parallel motion or contrary motion. And again, you can start at the top or the bottom of the scale. And for mallet players, if you're thinking about what your sticking is for the different notes in your scale, first of all, only play the notes with the left hand, only play the notes with the right hand, and then put your two hands together. And that's 26 different ways to practice scales. Now, we've talked about all of our 26 different ways, but you're probably not going to do all of them at once, and you probably also want to make sure that you're doing a wide variety of things. You can download the app Quizlet on your phone and look in the links below to get access to the flashcards that I've made with these 26 different ways of playing scales. When you get it on your phone or your desktop or your tablet, you'll see this. And if you go to the settings in the top left-hand corner, you can change it to shuffle. And then you can scroll through to see the next strategy, and they'll be randomized for you. You can pick a different one each time. And if you can't remember what the things were, just tap on the word and it'll explain to you how to do it. So check out the link below for the link to the Quizlet flashcards. If you have found today's video helpful, I'd really love to hear from you about what other videos you would like to see. Looks like in terms of COVID-19, we're all in it for the long haul, and I would love to be making content that is helpful to you in your practice, and if you're a conductor, helpful to you and your students. So put your questions or ideas in the comments below, and happy practicing.